to the channel. So for this one today we are going to be doing brownies. So these ones are made by Claire Saffitz. If you don't know, she used to work for, I'm trying to think of the company name now. I think it was Bon Appetit. And now she's released her own cooking book. And she's on YouTube. She does like cooking videos and things, and she made these brownies the other day and they look absolutely astounding. So I was like, oh, I've got to try them. So these are known as ultimate brownies as far as I'm aware, as what I can remember. But yeah, they basically contain malt powder, so you know, like Ovaltine. You don't have to put that in, but it just sounded amazing and I wanted to try them. And because when I'm recording now it's Valentine's Day, it's kind of a nice treat to top off Valentine's Day. So I'm going to get started and fingers crossed I can kind of keep up and hopefully we should turn out with some tasty brownies. So first thing we're going to start and do is grease our foil. So you're going to want to start with an 8x8 kind of square pan, or a 20cm by 20cm. If you've not got that, then just use what you can. This is slightly smaller. This is a 7x7, I think. But it will just be a case of it will be less, it'll be more thick on top in terms of, rather than more spread out. So you're just going to want to start by putting, sorry guys, you can't see because I'm this side. But yeah, you just want to start by putting your 2 pieces of foil in and running your butter around the edge. Just do that kind of both sides once your foil doesn't want to come out. But you just want to kind of lightly grease everything if you can, and then this will just help the brownies come out a bit later once they're baked. Next thing you're going to do is preheat your oven. So this will be to 180, 160 fan, 350 Fahrenheit, and gas mark 4, potentially 5. Yeah, I always get these muddled up. I need a chart on the wall to like tell me what it is so I can look and be like, oh, that's that. But yeah, preheat your oven, and we'll carry on with the rest. So you're going to want to combine some water in this. So we're going to need 4 ounces. So I'm just trying to go onto my butt. So this is kind of already, it's kind of semi-warm. So you don't want it boiling. So I just need to take a bit of that out. And I think it's 130 ml. Kind of around that if you use the millilitres. Grab a spoon. Once you're taking dribs by dribs out. Sorry for knocking the camera, guys. Right. Come on, it's literally just a drop. Right, we're going to leave it as that. So next thing you're going to want to combine in there is some cocoa powder. So we're going to need 20 grams, 0.7 of an ounce or a 1/4 cup. Ideally, if you've got Dutch processed, which I suppose every kind of cocoa powder is. It doesn't tell me whether the one I've got is, but it will do. I'm just using this one. This is what I've got, so we're going to use that. So we're going to try and add that into that. So we're just going to, as I said, need 20 grams of this, which is spot on there. And we're going to whisk this until it is all smooth and together. So next thing we're going to do is add, when I don't chuck my cocoa powder on the floor, is add the butter to this bowl. So the reason we add, just to kind of backtrack, the reason we add the cocoa powder into the water is to kind of bring out the flavour of it. So I'm just going to get that chucked in there, get that in there a minute, get that kind of mingling, pop that back on there. And then we're going to need 142 grams of darkish chocolate. So I could only find this kind, so it's 10% more dark than what Claire uses, but it will do. So we're going to need 142 grams, that's 5 ounces of this chocolate. So I'm just going to get this measured out, and then we're going to get it broken into little bits, and then we can get it added into that bowl then. So I'll come back to you once that's done. So this is your coarsely chopped chocolate. So it's not kind of fine, but it's not massive chunks either. So I'm going to get that added in there, and then we're going to add our oil. So in terms of your oil, you're going to need 56 grams, 2 ounces, or 1/4 cup. Any neutral oil as you can, and then we'll get that added in, and then it'll be a case of we'll take it over to our stove. You're going to want a pan over there that your bowl can fit over, and you're going to want it simmering. So you don't want it to obviously touch the bottom, but you don't want it boiling either. And I'll come back to you guys once I've thrown that in so I can show you what I mean. So it will just be a case of, with this, we're just going to slowly bring it up to temperature and get it all mingled in and incorporated. So it'll probably take a few minutes, and then we'll just need to set that aside to cool down to room temp. Don't mind me with the other kind of pot there. I'm making pizza sauce. Yeah, just kind of keep encouraging it slowly, and just keep your eyes on it until it is all melted, and I'll come back to you guys very shortly. So it's just come off the heat. I'm just letting it cool down at the moment, but as you can see when I get it in there, it's incredibly thick and glossy, which is amazing. So as I said, I'm just waiting for it to cool down to room temp at the moment. While we're waiting, I'm going to get my sugars measured out. So once I get the butter off the side of the tub, we're going to need 100 grams of granulated sugar. That's kind of the sugar that you put in your tea. So we're just going to pop that in there. Otherwise it will be 3.5 ounce or 1/2 cup. Get that added into your stand mixer. Whoop. Then we're going to need 100 grams, 3.5 ounce, 1/2 cup again, but of brown sugar this time. So I don't know how well this is going to go. I'm trying to get it out of the bag, but oh, they're a bit over actually. Let's see what you are if I take you off. Nearly there actually. So if I break that bit off. That should be equal. There we go. When it comes out. So we'll just pop that in our stand mixer out as well. If you want to do it by hand, that's completely fine. It's just with me at the minute, I'm going to pop it in there. It's a lot easier for me to kind of handle. So yeah, I'm just going to pop everything in there, and I'll be back to you guys in a moment. So now that's cooled down to room temp, this thing, and we're going to add it into our sugar, get that all mixed up, try and get as much as you can off. Apparently it can separate, so don't worry, it's quite normal to do that. I think it's just because of the high fat content, obviously the oil and the butter and everything else that's in there, all the goodness. So we're just going to get as much as we can out. And then we're going to put that on a low speed for a few minutes just to kind of mingle together. We'll get that sorted now. So now we're going to get our wonderful eggs added in. So we've got a large egg and 2 large egg yolks. If you're weighing these out, it's going to be around like 56 grams for the large egg and then 32 grams for your egg yolks. So get them popped in and get that scraped. With your egg whites that are left, you can make meringue and things like that with them. So you kind of got that spare. So we're just going to get that mix in. And then we're going to get our vanilla. I'm going to add 1.5 teaspoons of this, or as much as you want. For me, I like to add loads. So let's get some of that added in. Add that amount in. I'm just going to mix this until it becomes thick and glossy. So the chocolate mix in there's really glossy now, which it looks delightful. I want to dive in it. So we're going to get 100 grams, or when I find my little slippy thing, 3.5 ounces or 3/4 cup of plain or all-purpose flour. So it depends where you are. Let's pop that in. I knew it. I was like, I'm going to go over. So there's your 100 grams. And then if you want to add this, you can. I'm not saying don't if you don't like malt. But what we have here in the UK in terms of malt powder is something called Ovaltine. And it's this incredible kind of malt powder that helps you kind of fall to sleep at night, and it's just incredible. So I'm going to be using some of this. So we're going to need 18 grams, 0.63 of an ounce, or 2 tablespoons. So I'm just going to reset my scales. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to need 18 grams of this beauty. When it wants to go in. Right, so that's your 18 grams. And then you're also going to want to add salt. So you're going to want 3 grams, 0.11 ounces of salt, or a teaspoon. Depends how you want to kind of measure it. But yeah, let me get my salt. Okay, so we'll just get that added into our mixer and we'll slowly get this incorporated, and I'll come back to you guys once that's mixed. So while that's mixing, in terms of have it on high speed for like 45 seconds to a minute, I'm just going to get my chocolate out. Excuse me guys, a minute. So use milk chocolate if you want. I'm going to be using this because it's similar to kind of milk chocolate, so we're gonna do that way. And we're gonna need 175 grams, 6 ounce or a cup, and you're gonna kind of want to break it down into littleish chunks. So I'm gonna kind of put it in our bowl a minute once I can get it, and I'm gonna measure 70 out of this one, and obviously the other one's 100 anyway, so I'm going to kind of do that once it decides it's going to unpeel. So that should be close enough to 50. hopefully 60. Probably going to end up being like 2 squares. Yeah, exactly that. So I'll get this mixing for like 45 seconds to a minute. I'll get my chocolate chopped, and then what you're going to want to do is to obviously stop mixing, get a spatula and mix your chocolate in, but I'll show you guys once I get to that. So now I've got my chocolate chopped into kind of roughish chunks. I'm going to get it added into there once I can move. And then we'll take my bowl over here and we're going to stir this in. And then, as I said, this is going to go into your oven for 25 to 30 minutes at 180, 160 fan, 350 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4, I think I said, or 5, whichever it equates to. So I'm just going to get this tipped into my tray as much as I can do on camera. Kind of slide this across, zoom out a bit. There we go. So I'm just going to add that in. And then I'll pop this in the oven. Make sure your rack's in the middle of the oven, just so it promotes even cooking. And then I'll be back to you guys once it's been in. So I've just got the brownies out of the fridge. So hopefully they're a lot more set than what I hope they are. So I'm going to peel it. So I left it to cool on the side for an hour, and then I put it in the fridge for an hour. So hopefully this should be quite gooey. So according to Claire's recipe, this makes 16. So we're going to see what happens. So let's have a slice. I think they're not cooked. Well, they're super gooey. So I'm gonna cut this a minute. Won't come out. Yeah. I don't know whether to... I don't know what to do. Let me try and get a palette knife. Oh yeah. I baked it as long as she said. Damn. I don't understand. I cooked it for as long as she said. I just don't get why it's so runny. I think I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board on this one. That's a shame. back in. I'm going to have to see how I get on with this. But no, that's definitely not cooked. Right, we're going to try this again. After like the third time in the oven. I realised, I was sat thinking last night in my slightly tipsy state, because me and Jake had a drink for Valentine's Day and celebrating, that because I wasn't using a metal tin, that was the reason that it wasn't cooking all the way through. So it was just a case of, if you use a metal tin, cook it for 25-30 minutes. If not, then you're just going to have to kind of play it by ear and test it essentially. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, since it's all cracked and everything. Why the hell have I got flour on my knife again? Yeah, it's kind of slice it. Ooh, oh my god, that's like solid. Oh. And it's like chocolate coming off now. Oh. So this is meant to serve 16, but you know our British portions are like. Let's peel this off somehow. Oh, they're actually quite fudgy. Oh wow, look at that. That's amazing. Like, it's a shame that you can't see like the chocolate and things in it, but I suppose with me having to cook it loads, then it won't kind of be there, which is unfortunate, but hey ho. Put that on there. So I'm going to try cut this up. Oh, such a satisfying pop. There's actual chocolate chunks in it. Look at that. Oh. I like it when brownies actually have chocolate chunks, because of the fact of it just adds like another dimension to it essentially, which is great. Sorry about my kind of long-winded rant, but needs to be done. But yeah, that is the brownies, guys. So yeah, credit to Claire, they look amazing, and I'm probably going to be doing a taste test soon, once I sit down with my cup of coffee and wake up a bit. But yeah, if you like this one, all you lovely people, go like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see all you lovely people in my next cooking video. So see you later.